I follow that Twitter account for your congratulations, sailor. You made it to Friday. I like it. It's like a little kid that runs it, and he manually posts those "you made it to Friday" things. Usually, those are like bot accounts that like automatically post things on a certain day. I think you can even like manually queue tweets to be made at certain times, like from your Twitter panel. But he hasn't figured that out because he's just a little kid and he wants to. He just does it by himself. Sometimes he forgets. It's very big chungus wholesome, as they would say. So hello friends. If you're listening to this, I'm assuming you did not die horrifically from COVID after meeting with your family to eat turkey and celebrate the genocide of the Native Americans on Thanksgiving Day, as YouTube itself tweeted out. It is Unthanksgiving Day. We have to learn about how we don't give thanks for the colonial era and for the work of the forefathers to found the United States of America, the country that became the most powerful empire the world has ever seen. We can't appreciate that at all because they hurt some people along the way, and there are of course the Native Americans never hurt anyone. The Native Americans, they never fought each other. They lived very peacefully with the buffalo, the beefalo. They were eating the beefalo and smoking the weed and being hippies and loving Mother Earth. And then the whitey came and killed and raped and murdered and spread horrific diseases amongst them and took it all away. And now we live in 2020, so we must give unthanks to these terrible actions by terrible people. Anyways, I hope you guys did actually, if you had the opportunity, did spend time with your family because, fuck, I don't know if it was like statewide or like a federal mandate or whatever about not meeting family for Thanksgiving. That's absolutely fucking preposterous. I know that they're shutting down Christmas shit in Europe. I don't know if they're going to shut it down here, but it's kind of pathetic. If you're afraid of catching COVID, if you're elderly, if you're fat, if you're immunocompromised, don't go. You don't have to go. I don't understand why society has changed to this like mandatory niceness. It's not like people are being courteous of their own accord and that's why they're nice. It's like you either do what we say or we put you in jail for it, and we're going to say that we're doing this to be nice when really people are just being forced to do it. And I think in that kind of environment people are encouraged to be greedy. Like, you don't have to worry about being nice because the government will just tell you when you have to be nice. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to consider other people because there's a consideration committee that sits above you that decides when you should be considerate, and they'll let you know when to be considerate, so you don't have to worry about it too much on your own. Whereas in the U.S., you will fucking die penniless in the street unless you are looking out for yourself, and perhaps if other people are looking out for you because you're worth it, you're worth that investment. In Europe, there really isn't that kind of failure anymore. You will be taken care of. People will pay for it. They do not have the option to not pay for you to be taken care of. And you can't lose. You can be as big an asshole as you want. You can fuck up as consistently as you want. Someone's going to pay for it. It is very strange. It's very strange to see the perspective difference of Europeans versus Americans, and how Americans put an emphasis on people should be encouraged to make the right choice, as opposed to Europeans who'll say, well, people cannot be trusted to make the right choice, so we need the government to ensure that society regulates itself correctly. And I don't know. Very, very depressing thinking about that. I try not to. I try not to depress myself, but I'm very good at it. And people keep sending me the shit like this. Here, I'll talk about this and then I'll move on, because I don't want to talk about politics the entire time. It drives me insane. The World Economic Forum, which is the same World Economic Forum which brought about the term the Great Reset, using COVID-19 as a mechanism for strategically altering society in a way that we wouldn't be able to normally. And then backtracked on that and said that the Great Reset is actually a conspiracy theory, which is now like the new thing that happened online and got spread around on like social media, and now the real world is treating it very seriously, which seems to be happening more and more. It seems after Trump that seems to happen, where people will pick up on something as a conspiracy theory on the internet, and then it will become a very big deal to actual institutions of government and NGOs in the real world. And in this case, the Great Reset is the new Q. Everyone. Somehow it's weird because I'm plugged into stuff. I hear what people talk about. So it's weird when things like this get talked about by the government before I even hear about it. And I didn't really pay attention to any Great Reset shit. But now it's like an actual conspiracy, and people are getting like arrested on live stream for talking about it and talking about cover-ups and shit. And now there's this. The World Economic Forum reports that the United Nations has recruited 120,000 information, like militiamen, who will subscribe to their newsletter, learn all the facts, all the UN facts about the virus and the pandemic response and how things actually work, and then will actively combat, or promise to actively combat, misinformation online and off, and report sources of misinformation to the UN, which is very Stasi-esque as far as I'm concerned. That sounds a lot like neighbors reporting their neighbors to the party, not specifically because they care that their neighbors are talking bad about the Communist Party, but because they want to prove to the party that they are very pro-party, so they narc all the time. That's what that sounds like to me. So I guess you got to be careful of what anime avatars you're talking to on the internet these days, because one of them might be a UN informant who's going to report you to the government, the international government, for spreading misinformation. I'm going to find that bit about the number of people. 125-page PDF in formats that are optimized for sharing on social media. So the meme warfare has really kicked up. The UN is dispensing 125-page PDF packets of government-approved memes and infographics that can be shared with their with your friends. Counter the green frogs. I want to see. Oh, here it is. So far, we've recruited 110,000 information volunteers, which is a very IngSoc kind of word, infovol or something. So there's 110,000 infovols who have the right packets, and they're going to equip these infovols with the kind of knowledge about how misinformation spreads, and ask them to serve as a kind of digital first responders in those places where misinformation travels, Fleming says. There was a joke a long time ago. I don't even know if this place still exists. I haven't heard this one used as a meme in forever. But the IDF is the defense force for Israel, and there was a nonprofit organization in like the mid 2000s, like way before 2010, that was a meme online called the JIDF, which was the Jewish Internet Defense Force. And whenever anyone posted anything, like critiquing someone on poll, they say, "Nice try, JIDF." And the whole point of like this group, I don't even know if it did anything. I don't know if it was real or not, or if it was just like one guy in his basement, like Snopes. But their whole thing was like, we're gonna combat online anti-Semitism, and that sounds like this, but like for real, like backed by the UN. We're gonna have a COVID internet defense force that people are just gonna run around and report things that are inappropriate or offensive to proper authorities and combat it in real time. Yeah, I don't know. I saw this and it's just like, yeah, that sounds about right. It's like I said before, and I'm sure it's not an original thought, but it really does feel like the 9/11 of this generation. Because 9/11 was an excuse to spy on people, have massive, widespread domestic surveillance that was unconstitutional in every country in the world. And the countries began spying on each other. We know for a fact the U.S. spies on our allies in Europe. And there are really funny stories about like leaders in foreign countries having to ask the NSA to stop spying on them. And the NSA will respond by saying, okay, we won't spy on you, but we'll spy on like all your secretaries and assistants and stuff. We're not going to stop spying on them. And now COVID is like, oh, we get to decide what businesses are open, when they get to open, what you get to dress like, how far you get to stand apart, how you get to exchange cash. You don't get to like reach out for a 50 anymore. You got to like put it in a little tray so that the other person can touch the money without touching you, because that might spread COVID. It's just like a weird invasion of every facet of your life that you can't escape. And you risk fines. And what's really alarming is that I think when the NSA stuff happened, only a very small minority of truly psychotic government stooges said the NSA is a good thing and they're objectively trying to help the country. Nobody actually believes that. And only a few select retards actually do. But with this, it's so much more scary to me, because you talk to people, normal people, educated people who are genuinely good-willed, and they said, we need this because it protects vulnerable people in our society. And they will actively police how you carry yourself based on the information that they trust that comes from these organizations. And I don't even care if it's real or not. Like, people should be allowed make their own choices. And really, if you're going to start restricting things like this and mandating masks, it should be for the people that it actually has effect on. It should be, okay, if you are aware that you're vulnerable, then you can wear a mask. If you know you're sick, you must wear a mask. But that's not, or, you have to like sneeze into your elbow. And if you make like a sneezing fine, I'm more okay with that, because that's like a thing that you can help. If you sneeze into the open air, or into your hand as opposed to your elbow, then you can be fine. Like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's still kind of invasive, but it's far less invasive than having a fucking dress code for every person in the world. It's so obnoxious. Masks are to protect others, not yourself. That is correct. It is not effective because the droplets will get into your eyes and your not your nose, but your eyes. They can get onto your hand. You will touch your face. Even if you're cognizant of the fact you should not touch your face, you will fucking scratch your nose or rub the tear duct in your eye because it itches or whatever. You can't stop that. What you can stop is not sneezing into the fucking air. That's how it transmits. We know that. Why is that not the addressed issue? Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Everyone else in the whole fucking world is talking about it. But it's starting to have an impact that I feel. And I'm like a hermit that doesn't leave his house. I don't go outside. But now, if I step outside, and it doesn't matter how fucking long it's been, I always forget the fucking mask. It's been months, and I still will walk, 5 minutes down the road before realizing I don't have my fucking mask, and they won't let me into the grocery store, and I have to turn back. It happens constantly. It's so irritating. And seeing, all the people in public who are wearing masks and how awkward they look, and, a lot of businesses won't be able to conduct like winter festivities because things have to close down for the sake of nobody in particular. I don't know. It's really sucking the Christmas spirit out of me. And since it is Black Friday, that means that we are officially in Christmas season, so I can start talking about Christmas time. Anyways. Josh, you have a smooth brain. Well, you know what they say. Let me pull up the meme. Where is it? Give me this. There we go. My brain, smooth, no winkles, cute. Your brain, bumpy and weird, gross winkles and ugly. So, fuck you. No, it didn't show up on the right screen. That sucks. Here's my iFunny meme. Got the banner and everything. Why does it keep showing up on a different screen? I want this one. Here we go. Perfect. No winkles. So fuck off. Ice Fox. Frozen Firefox page. You cunt. Anyways, whatever. I am still okay. I want to replace watching the fat women eat of talking about Space Station 13, so that until you find until I am no longer called a feeder, I'm having a fatwa on the feeder. We're not going to be talking about fat chicks until it changes to something space related. Maybe a tranny. You have to start calling me a tranny because I'm playing the most autistic game ever made. Don't want to talk too much about it because I've talked about it enough. But obviously, if you've not heard, Space Station 13 server for the forum. Link is on the main page. Go play it. I have generated content because there is, as you would imagine, in a world of heavily autistic role players, there is some drama, and there are flutterings of drama in me hosting this server, because there's only like a couple thousand people who play this game, right? And there's only like a few dozen servers. You can't really split that many people too many times. So there's about a dozen or so server hosts that host populations consistently above 20. And I'm one of them. I came out of nowhere, and now I'm one of the big boys. I host one of the bigger servers, which I'm very thankful for, because I'm enjoying my server a lot. But the other people who host servers are not too thankful for my sudden presence. So there are, in the world of Space Station 13, behind the scenes, behind the curtains, there are murmurings of discontent headed my way. So as a teaser trailer, there may be future episodes about people trying to get rid of me from their video game, because before there was a monopoly. You wanted to, what could you, I talked about this even before, my hesitation for starting a server. It's a small game. There's not many people who play it at any given time. At night, it dips below 1,000 players total. That's like half a RuneScape server. So you can't really just make your own if you disagree with administration and have people come to it. It's like the social media problem of go make your own, but way, way more simplified. There just aren't enough players. So the fact that I was able to set up my own and have the rules be different and have an innate offensive quality to the other server host is really distressing them. And it's not intentional. I'm not doing it just specifically to make people unhappy. I really do just want to enjoy my fucking game that was ruined by weirdos in dresses. I just want to play my fucking Spaceman game. And now even as I host my own server, to completely disassociate my community and the people who would enjoy a server that I run from them, which should be a benefit to them. If they just want to get rid of people like me, fine. I'm isolated now. But it's not the case, because what they really want is to influence people and force them to behave a certain way, and that's exciting to them, I think. And it's not sufficient just to have them be somewhere else. So consider that a preamble. I'm pretty sure something funny will happen eventually. But this is a ban appeal from someone, and I want to read it. He titled it very eloquently, "My Philosophical Treatise on the Subject of Law and Law Enforcement," talking about my server administration. He says, "Behold Kiwi Station 13, a SS-13 server outfitted with its own set of rules that should be followed. You may be thinking to yourself, well, that's just the most ordinary thing on this God-given earth. Why is this man writing about such a boring subject, much less a treatise on it? Well, as with many things, the answer is power. What power, you might ask? Let me answer. Administrators, or Jannies, of Space Station 13 are a breed of people that use the lower eye internet, whose sole job it is to be not paid and administrate a server. Them being unpaid, combined with having to deal with every kind of homosexual and non-desirable there is, cause them to deviate from normal behavior into bitter, angry individuals. Endowed with power like this never ends well for anyone. Not the he censored admin there because it's offensive. Admin, nor the player. To add to this pile of misery, degeneracy, and moral freefall are the head administrators. They come in pairs of 4. 3 head admins and a host, but for simplicity's sake, we'll clump them together as one entity. Do not be fooled. The head admins are not the same breed as normal Jannies. They are barely human. Their only human factor is the fact that they are capable of typing out sentences on the lower eye internet, using Their whole being is not made of spirit, body, and mind as normal human beings, but hate, dirt, disdain, crusty socks, and everything godforsaken you can possibly think of. This makes them the most dangerous being in existence, next to the armies of hell, which they associate with, in particular with Beelzebub, who is their direct progenitor by blood. Here's the ban message that they received from my video game. many people are supporting his ban appeal. Banned by host. You or another user of this computer or connection. In Bethan, I can't pronounce. What the fuck is Ethan? Oh no, it's Ethan. Is banned from playing here. The ban reason is joined as captain and immediately declared that all women characters were valid. Spent the round being obnoxious. Finally broke the only hard rule we had by spamming alerts. This ban was applied by Kiwi Null. So he immediately joined, and the first thing he did, like 30 seconds into the game, as he started like making a monologue in the common chat radio channel, just saying like, gamers, we all know that no women play this video game. Therefore, you can safely assume that all women in this game are in fact men, and therefore are trannies. And as trannies are not human, you can therefore kill them. And I told him, I said, look, dude, if anyone kills someone because of your command, I am fucking treating it as your action, and I'm banning you for it. Surprisingly, no one actually did that, but there is one really hard rule that I have on the server. Don't spam shit. Specifically, don't go to the don't go to the communications console and spam maintenance open and close, because there's a really fucking loud alert that happens when you do that. And he did that. I don't know why he did that, but I banned him from that. And I banned him, as it says, clear as day. This ban is for 1 day and expires tomorrow. And during that time, he was so indignant, he made this post. For the less intelligent asking themselves why this is an unjust ban, let me demonstrate. 1. Joined as captain and immediately declared all women characters were valid. I joined as captain, of course, mostly because I was scared of other people becoming captain who might not have the gut to keep the station intact. Previous rounds on this station, I had noticed a high amount of quote, 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 greater than, quote, female, less than, quote, 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 characters. Of course, any Space Station 13 player knows that not one woman has touched this game. Ergo, every female character is male to female training, giving me the absolute moral high ground in ordering mass beatings. I never said they were valid. I merely ordered the normal crewmates to beat up these infiltrators who are clearly up to no good. With this, I approve the deception and treachery of that demonic entity head administrator. The only thing this person administrates is the various circles of hell. 2. Spit the round being obnoxious. Seeing as I have demonstrated the deceptiveness of the godforsaken one, I will call him on his lie and call forward witnesses when I gather them to dispute this fact. And 3, finally broke the only hard rule we had by spamming alerts. Okay, my bad, I didn't know, Lamau. Also, I only clicked the button like 5 times. Sadly for me, I gave him the causa's belly to instantly ban me without warning, which shows that servants of Satan have no sense of justice. This is my case against an unjust ban, the Jannies and Trannies of Space Station 13 film. Very, very good. Best ban appeal ever. I'm not lifting it. It's 1 day. Fuck off. Just wait it out. Don't spam alerts. And don't be a shitter. This actually prompted me to change the rules of the server to include a little note that says, if you are a command role position, like the captain, and you are fucking annoying, I'm going to let any admin ban you from command role positions for being too annoying. I had to call a constitutional congress between myself and nobody else to discuss what to do to handle these problems. And I decided to do that. Monster, unban. Oh my god, the support, the outpouring of support for this person. I don't know what I clearly can't keep him out. He's the champion of the people. Mad with power. Yes. Anyways, I've been enjoying my server, by the way. It is literally if I have to say something I'm thankful for, I want to thank everyone for playing, because it is a lot of fun until the Americans wake up and it becomes hell on earth, because for some reason they are just horrific shitters. I don't know what the fuck it is about American time, but when the Americans wake up and start playing my space station game, it goes from peaceful, docile, there's classical music playing and everyone is harmonious and hippied out, and then the Americans get on, and then it's just like it's like the here, this is what sound it plays when the Americans wake up. Wait, where is it? Oh, is that it? No, that's not it. That's when you know the mutts are up and they're gonna come fuck up your space station. Anyways. Do we want to talk? Yeah, fuck it. We'll talk about Ralph. I got this off T-Clips. I need to briefly touch on this, because Ralph yesterday, or like the day before, I don't remember. Time is blurring together for me because I'm playing so much of this fucking game. Ralph made a tweet saying he would dox any Antifa person on Twitter, which is just stupid. Doxing is like the only rule enforced, like hard enforced by like every social media and company that he relies on for like business. So why he would say that is fucking beyond me. He's really, really trying. I don't know how he hasn't been like penalized by Twitter already. Maybe he's just not significant enough for Twitter to even fucking ordain to notice him. But saying shit like that, I mean, it's going to get him in trouble. But then this happened, and I thought this was just amazing, because there was already kind of like the sense that he was fucking around with Pantsu Party, who is the lolicon ex-girlfriend of Digibro, who turned Digibro into a tranny. And now I can't even like just hypothesize that they're fucking around. Look at this.
Look! Holy crap! Did you see that? They were holding hands, dude! Busted! Busted! Ace Pass? Yeah, my man. I can't believe you noticed that. Damn. Oh, and immediately when the camera got pointed, he was like, "Uh-oh, we can't touch hands anymore." They're trying to hide it. They're trying to hide it so poorly, dude. And there you have to start.
It's so true, though. It's like, it's not even like, and obviously it only gets captured because someone else is using the camera, and he doesn't realize that he's on camera, but then the second he does,
oh, look,
he breaks the hand immediately. Like awkwardly, and like scratches his face nervously, which is a nervous tick that a lot of people do. And it's like, I'm trying to think, like, okay, I don't like to speculate wildly and just assume the worst and hope it's true, right? Because he has a pregnant girlfriend and there's now a child involved in this. So let's be a little bit tactful. But I'm sitting here and I'm legit thinking, when would it be appropriate for a man with a girlfriend to hold another woman's hand? And I'm thinking, like, okay, like best case scenario, I think the only appropriate time would be like you're in an airport and you're trying to like guide them through a crowd. You can grab them, but usually you would grab someone by the wrist or on the upper arm, or you would push them through a crowd to guide them. You wouldn't hold their hand. Holding hands is very sensual. It's a romantic thing. If you grab someone by the wrist or the upper arm, that's or like you can do here like this. Let's actually, let me not search this live. Here, if you're a true Chad, you can go for the Weinstein. This is the only appropriate way to deliver human cargo through a crowd. without touching their palms like a degenerate. But really, I can't think of a single instance. Like, even if I was with my mom trying to navigate my mom through a crowd, I wouldn't hold her hand like a child. You can only do that with your girlfriend. You can't do that with anyone else, regardless of your relationship with them. So holding hands is basically having sex. It's worse. It's a sign of romance. It's a different kind of cheating, really. So I don't know. I want to see in chat. Do you guys think that what's her face, Faith, is still with him? Do you think she is like in Virginia, unawares or awares and just tolerating it or dealing with it? Press 1 for that. Press 2 if you think she's already fucked off. Because I have a fun theory about number 2. I want to wildly speculate, recklessly, with abandon, and have a fun time with that. After saying I would not do so. Lots of 2s. I think she's still with him. But if she has left, I have a fun theory for that. A long time ago, it came out during the height of all that shit with Faith that she had an ex-boyfriend who is like super big into cuckolding and humiliation. He was like an extreme, like worse than Brian Dunn tier humiliation fetishist. And it became like a theory that Faith was only with Ethan Ralph because she wanted to humiliate this guy who very specifically did not like Ralph, like by name, did not like Ethan Ralph. So she went all the way out there to fuck this guy, to fuck Ralph, because she had a guy that she was with who had a fetish for being humiliated like that. And apparently she left without telling anyone that she was doing this. So that became the fringe weirdo conspiracy theory at the time, which was the most fun and interesting theory. But then she got pregnant. And oh, here too, this too. Let me put this up before I forget. Ralph is touching her leg right there. Top autists have analyzed this footage and determined that he had a hand on her leg, which is just totally inappropriate. Unless I can't name a single situation where that would be. Maybe if she's bleeding out of her femoral artery and you're putting pressure on it to stop the bleeding that would imminently kill her, then it's okay. I don't think that's what's happening there. She's smiling. I don't think she's bleeding out. So we can check that one off. I don't think that's what's happening. Riot medical help. Not even then. Okay. That's a hardline simple farmer. I guess you're like a Amish person. You can't, not even if she's dying on you, then you still can't touch her leg unless you're married. Says the Amish farmer. Anyways, so the theory was that she was with fucking Ralph to turn on this guy who liked to be humiliated. But then she got pregnant. And then the whole thing with the father happened where the father got online, and that was embarrassing for everyone involved. Even the father, who I still maintain, like I was like on my own with this opinion that he was just a retard and the sole reason why that girl is so fucked up to begin with. Apparently I'm like on the sideline with that one. I don't know how okay, just because he's fucking with Ralph does not mean that he's a good guy. Like, fuck the kayfabe. I'm not supporting that guy. That guy's a retard. He's a mumbling fuckhead autist, spurred exactly like Ralph, which is why his daughter is chasing after someone like Ralph, because they're the exact same class of person. But anyways, that all happened, and the baby happened, and all the theories about the humiliation fetish washed away. But now that this has happened, and they haven't even made the 9 months with the term without Ralph fucking around, it makes me wonder, has she already left? And if she has left, is the actual humiliation fetish bringing home Ethan Ralph's demon baby so that the Mexican guy with the humiliation fetish can be the stepdad? Is that the extent of this man's humiliation fetish? Is that what's actually, is this the ultimate coom for this man to wake up one day as the stepfather for Ethan Ralph's child and that be his life? If so, that would be amazing. It would all be worth it. It would be the funniest fucking thing that would ever happen. It would probably be made into a History Channel documentary, because you can't write something that fucking funny. It's a child of the corn, exactly. Exactly. Born under a total eclipse of Saturn, so he doesn't have any emotions. A total psychopath. Second coming of the Antichrist. Gonna take over the world. That would be hysterical. Let's all I dabble in the spiritual chat, and I believe in mind over matter to an extent, and I believe in meme magic just a little bit, where I think if enough people want something to be true, the fabric of time and space will warp around it to make it true. So please join me right now in materializing this fantasy, this amazing story, into actuality. Faith will go home, and the Mexican cuckold will raise the demon baby as a humiliation fetishist stepfather, and it will be the most fantastic thing that has ever happened in the course of human history. Come together, my friends. We'll spawn this. We will, as gods together, spawn this into being. Have my energy. All right, I'm seeing a lot of people giving me their energy, so we're gonna make this happen. It's gonna be great. Now, I said I wouldn't talk about fat women, but I'm going to talk about fat women. Here is a happening with Amberlynn. I'm not going to actually watch any of her videos, and there's a good reason for this. The reason is she's not making any videos right now. In fact, Mundo. If I go and search Amberlynn Reid, it's like all reaction channels to her. Like Cecil McFly shows up before. I can't even find her. Where the fuck is her channel at? None of these are her videos. And that's because she deleted a ton of her fucking videos and tanked her own SEO. So now if you search her fucking name, it does not show up in the suggestions anymore. So, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. I think it was actually in July where this happened, where Amberlynn Reid's girlfriend's mother died of cancer. And, a woman named Anne Doran, who is one of the deceased friends, had access to her computer, and a couple months later has apparently been digging through her personal stuff and found these voicemails of Amberlynn and Doran talking to each other. Well, not talking to each other, but leaving voicemails, because apparently they didn't have any direct communication. And I just want you to listen to this and keep in mind while listening to it that the woman speaking is dying of cancer, and the woman that she's speaking to is dying of cancer. I'll point out, in case you somehow don't know who Amberlynn Reid is after watching my streams, which one's which.
Here, I'm gonna release this.
That's Anne Doran. She posted these to Facebook, by the way. She didn't like leak them to the forum, but people stalked the fuck out of everyone around Amberlynn Reid, and the shit got saved, archived really fast. And I'll help sort out the chronology of this when it's over. It's only about 5 minutes worth of audio. And keep in mind she's playing them in reverse. Come on, Boomer.
Can appreciated when I
this
try
is
to
Amberlynn.
help you the best that I can, and it's just frustrating. This whole situation is super frustrating.
Talking to Becky's mom,
and I
right after
just
she
kind of
had
wanted
her
to
surgery. I'm going to put it out there how Amberlynn really treated Becky's mom. Don't let her fool everyone, please.
I am not trying to argue with you. That is the last thing I want to do since you just got out of surgery. I don't want to cause any more stress onto you, onto Becky, onto anyone in your family, onto myself, because that's just not going to fix anything. I am just tired of the added drama onto my YouTube, and I'm tired of not being appreciated when I try to help you the best that I can. And it's just frustrating. This whole situation is super frustrating. And I finally just kind of wanted to speak upon the situation.
So she wanted to speak on a situation that became about her when Norma had just got out of surgery. I will release more.
And yes, this is a phone recording of an Apple computer, which is also Google Voice, and the person recording this archive just screen recorded their cell phone because that's what they had when they viewed it on Facebook. And then it's on the Kiwi forum. So we're talking like 5 levels of inception here. Anyway, she's telling Norma that she wishes that she was appreciated more for all the things that she does. And I don't know what those things are. I don't think Amberlynn ever did anything for Norma or for Becky, really.
Sir, I have asked how you're doing. I have been there in that sense. And, you know, we don't have to really go down the line of, oh, you didn't message me, because I can say the same about you, where not once have you thanked me personally for the money I was going to give you, for the video I made.
For the money I was going to give you. You did not call me to thank me for the money I intended to send, but did not send.
For the backlash I'm getting for sticking up for you. Not once did you say sorry for any of the things that you have brought to my channel that is in a negative light.
Just complaining about her fucking channel. Okay, so let me explain that. I think the next 2 might be from Norma herself to Amberlynn. But from what I understand, the story was that Norma threw Becky out of the house. I don't even remember what for. It probably has something to do with her being gay. I'm not 100%. But that's what Becky told people on Amberlynn's channel, that they were thrown out of the house by Norma for whatever reason. And Amberlynn made a video asking people to give their money, not her money, their money to Norma for her cancer. I think that's what happened. And a lot of people in the comments came out and said, why are you raising money for Norma when she threw Becky out of the house? So that's what she's bitching about to a woman who just got out of surgery dying of cancer, that she has gotten some negative comments on her fundraising efforts. Not her actually just sending money, that she has plenty of, by the way, just other people's money. Saying that, why are you doing this when Becky has previously said this? And I think that the next voicemails are from Norma, which kind of explain that situation better.
Furthermore, everybody knows where you all live. You know the one saying you.
Oh, okay, yes, that is her.
More. Everybody knows where you all live. You know the one saying you was being stalked. Everybody and their brother knows where you live. Hannah and Rafe is the one that let that out, and they had treated Becky.
Let me actually just read her lines, because there's someone put together a chronological order of these voicemails, because the woman recording this is playing them backwards, and I want you to hear how southern this woman's accent is, though.
Like shit, screwed her over, and what did you do? You wanted them back.
Okay, that's enough. I'll read it real quick. Furthermore, everyone knows where you all live. You all, the ones saying you've been stalked. Everyone and their brother knows where you live. Hannah and Rafe are the ones out, and they treated Becky like shit, screwed her over, and what do? You wanted them back. So that's talking about 2 different people. I don't know particularly who they are, friends of both of them that were wrong or mistreated Becky, and Amberlynn wanted them in their lives, even though they were disrespectful to Becky. And that ties into Amberlynn with the recent move. When she had cancer, before her little hysterectomy, she was living with 2 gay men that Amberlynn didn't like too much, but Becky was big time friends with both of them. But so when Amberlynn wanted to move, Becky had to give up both of her friends that she was living with, which is pretty sad. It's all your fault, so don't send me messages telling me to please stop commenting. I'm done commenting, but you could have at least picked up the phone. You could have called me, and we could have talked about this. You have not once called me and said, Norma, I am so sorry that you have cancer. I am so sorry that you're going through this. Not once have you ever said this to me, not once. For one thing, I'll do whatever I please. I never threw Becky out. Becky should have never gone on the internet, on social media, telling everybody in the world that I threw her out. She had a choice. This was my house, mine and my boyfriend's, I think. We paid the bills. We lived there. And I told her it was my rules. And that's where it cuts out. So Becky, I guess, in this situation is kind of shitty. I'm sure she regrets that, telling people that she got thrown out if she didn't get thrown out. If she just chose that she would rather live on her own, which is a very reasonable choice to make when you're an adult woman. And in the first one, she just says, like, I owe you fucking nothing. I owe you fucking nothing because you have done nothing that I would owe you anything for. You haven't even, like, called me. And I think that was just Amberlynn bitching that she said something on Facebook or whatever, and people were making fun of her because Norma was sour towards her and saying that she wasn't doing anything. And Amberlynn got mad at that, not because she was commenting negatively about her, but because people on the internet were making fun of her for that comment. So that's been big news, and it's caused her to go away. She hasn't posted anything like a week. She's deleted all her videos. And now if you try to search her, even because she's deleted so much shit, you don't see any actual videos from her. But she's one of those people, she has a brilliant business, is what she has. She has found a way to take the DSP hate watchers, and because they're like boomer women who, you know, are at home and they don't know anything about technology, they don't know how ad rev works or ad blocker or anything, they just watch it on their phones and they see all the ads. And she makes thousands of dollars a month off people who hate her and who watch her constantly and who engage with her advertisers. And nothing, and the shit like this, you know, it makes her look like a fucking asshole. But the thing is, she doesn't have a Patreon, I don't think, where she gets money from people supporting her weight loss journey or whatever the fuck. It's literally just she has monetized a very large group of people who watch her only to hate her. And it's brilliant. She doesn't do anything that advertisers doesn't like. She's gay. She's proud. She's one of those people, body positive. She doesn't have any negative opinions about anything, but she treats herself like shit. And you can kind of see the cracks in like the facade. And it's like a soap opera that people turn into. And she takes their fucking money, and they don't wise up and just stop watching her. You know what I mean? I guess I'll talk about Foodie Booty just real quick because it's funny. She's doing a thing called Eating Montreal, and her first video was going to a Jewish like pickled beef sandwich shop, and she's talking about how she's not spreading COVID, and everyone's making fun of her for spreading COVID, and she's saying, I'm not doing that. So that's the Chantal update. She's currently, she's completely lost it, by the way. She's just going to eat herself to death, I'm pretty sure. Because she's living with Pete's and she's not even trying to, like, do the cycle anymore. She's just like, yeah, I'm going to eat whatever the fuck I want. And if I die, I die. That's how I choose to live. More power to. Good luck. Leave my province. Are you French? Are you Quebecois? Or are the Quebecois watching my streams? Okay, so I have a request from everyone. I have 1,600 people listening. I'm sure one of you is mildly useful, so listen up. If you know a federal lawyer in Virginia, email me, Josh, or jcmoon@pm.me, or Noel at Kiwi Farms. I have like 8 different email addresses, whatever works. Send me a Twitter DM, because I am going to have to deal with this in the next year. Melinda finally, apparently, it's completely unbeknownst to me, filed it was just by the letter of the law competent enough. I think Vordrak helped her draft this, because it's not as retarded as everything else she's filed, and has won a default judgment. So I have about a year, I think, to file a default judgment overturn. Because she never serviced me. I don't know how the fuck they thought that was proper servicing. I'm gonna have to fight that. That's gonna be annoying. We know a CPA, email me because of the merchandise stuff. I'm gonna have to figure out taxes on that. And I think I have a lawyer for Utah because Russell Greer is also. I'm gonna have to deal with him. I think because she got a default judgment, I'm not gonna just like wait for what's his face to get thrown out sua sponte. I might actually pay Scortus or something. I'm gonna like I finally made money for the first time ever this year, and now I'm gonna lose it all, having to pay people to do shit for me. But it is what it is. I'm thankful that I've earned shit this year, to the point where I have to deal with shit like this. Frikita gives you advice to do the opposite. I've asked him a couple times to send me messages and stuff, or give me referrals, and he hasn't managed to yet. I've asked him again yesterday because I would like to power through this. This week I'd like to get this started before the end of the year. But yeah, so that's my request. If you happen to be out there and you happen to know someone who is not going to scam me, please, because that's the real downside about like the U.S. system is you have all these people, right, who are like doctors and lawyers, and it's like, how do you find one that's not just going to rip you off? That's the real fucking question. Josh is going to jail. Yes, I'm a what's it called? I'm a fugitive from the law. I'm out in the west, or the east, the far east, and the Siberian waste, because I'm a fugitive, as they say. That's why I have to deal with civil issues in court back in the U.S. because I'm obviously unenforceable, because I'm above the law in my Siberian wilderness. Out in the lamb. Wanted dead or alive, exactly. Mostly dead. Oh, okay. This is a DMCA from Capcom, which is interesting. When I got this email, by the way, I kind of wish I could just show people what this looks like. It's in this weird font, and you would immediately know what the font is. I'll just take a screenshot of it, I think, and throw it up. But I do want people. I don't know why I'm so captivated by this, but I do want people to know what I'm talking about. Capcom. Okay, here. This shit. You see how weird that font is? That's indicative that they use Japanese as the base font, but then use Latin letters. That's the Japanese font. So when I saw that, I'm like, ooh, that's weird. But it makes sense because they're a Japanese company, I guess. So Capcom writes me and says, to whom it may concern, we Capcom Co. Ltd. notify you of infringement of copyright by the website of, and then a link to a thread called Huge Capcom Leak Due to Ransomware, and request you to remove or disable access to certain materials uploaded on the above website as follows. 1. Identification of copyrighted works claimed to have been infringed. I guess they're just using a template here. Confidential screenshots of intellectual property being developed by Capcom, including but not limited to images of Monster Hunter World and or Street Fighter V. 2. Files uploaded on it, and I'll go through those. And then 3, the address, which is their address. 81 is Japan. We have a good faith belief that the copyright owner is whatever. That's the typical. They're just saying remove these. So let's go through them, because some of them are pretty interesting. Some of them are just Japanese. I don't know Capcom games. Like I would never be excited for a Street Fighter or whatever. But there are a couple of things that I saw that made me laugh. So I'm going to just go through them real quickly. It's like a map layout for the Umbrella Chronicles. I guess they're making a new Resident Evil or something. I don't fucking know. That looks like something with just notes. Approaches to community building. The most straightforward approach to community building is to hire a popular streamer, then have them play the game on their stream to get the attention of their viewers. However, there are things to keep in mind when hiring streamers. Hiring a top-level streamer to play the game at release has a great initial benefit as a huge amount of attention is drawn to the gameplay. However, there are the following downsides. 1. Contract fees are extremely high. It is likely that the streamer will stop playing as soon as the contract expires. A good example of this approach was the way #1 Twitch streamer Ninja was hired to promote Apex Legends. His streaming instantly made Apex Legends one of the most played games of all time. However, Ninja stopped streaming the game immediately after his contract was done, and this combined with some hiccups in the game service caused Apex Legends to drastically lose the momentum it had built up. Surprise, people don't want to work for free. #1, the ambassador strategy. The plan for S.H.I.E.L.D. is to aim for not 1 or 2 top-level streamers, but to use a large number of mid-tier streamers instead. Mid-tier here refers to streamers whose follower counts are somewhere around the top 20 mark, who are actively trying to attract more followers and reach the top. And we'll refer to these streamers as ambassadors. Hire ambassadors at a lower cost over a period of time, at least 6 months leading up to the release of the full-price game. B, provide special bonuses to ambassadors. C, hire multiple ambassadors in each of the 4 main regions, US, Europe, Japan, and Asia. Why is Japan different from Asia? These fucking uppity chat motherfuckers. Like, oh yeah, there's Asia, like the Chinese, but they're not proper Japanese. They're obviously different. That's a different market than us. We're better. Allow ambassadors to retain certain rights even after their contract period has expired. The point of D is to give ambassadors a sense of special privilege that will keep them motivated to stream the game even after the contract period, to turn ambassadors into big red letters believers who will want to support the S.H.I.E.L.D. community. This strategy is based on advice from Twitch's business development manager, Kirk Lakes. I'm sure Kirk Lakes appreciates that fucking name drop. Watashi wa Black Lives Matter. That's the only thing I can read in that, which is weird to see. Okay, this is great too. Looks, costumes, and equipment. #2, excessive sexuality and a difference in exposure between men and women. Ryu is male, but he is exposed, which means he is equal. Wow, that's a very Japanese. I'm just imagining like a Japanese man, like a guy in a business suit who's snorting cocaine, trying to figure out what the fuck Westerners like, and he's like, "Oh, I get it. Because he's naked too, that makes them equal." Gender equity and diversity in terms of design. This guy, why does this guy with ponytails or white afro have a green, like a check mark? Like he's like, oh, they like cross dressers. We're gonna take this guy and give him ponytails. That's diverse. And then they all snort coke. It's bad when they're both naked, but she's naked and he's not. So that's a red X. This is actually fucking hilarious. Or they're both heavily armored, so that's also okay. Considering the current player mentality, it may be difficult to unify the gender design of all equipment, but if it is a different design is created for each gender, it would be desirable to give players a choice as to which armor they want to equip. We are conscious of designing for equality between men and women without being caught in stereotypes, they say. Racial and cultural country/diversity. A good example. Okay, so this is like good idea, bad idea. Hold up, let me get that up. I like the voice for this.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea. Good idea.
Diversity and various ethnic backgrounds can be used or selected. Character customization options should provide a level of freedom for the player to recreate themselves or others, particularly others, especially if they're women.
Good idea.
Wait, where's the bad idea? Oh, there it is.
A penny into a fountain.
Play the bad idea theme. There it is.
Bad idea.
Limited character creation options that do not allow for the expression of racial or ethnic characteristic or features. Avoid afros. No options for dreads or beards to express your appearance, etc. I don't know what the fuck that means. Why is it? Okay, wait. Why in that last slide did it say that the white man with the big white, like the aliens guy, afro is okay, but then this next slide it says avoid afros? Why is the white guy's afro okay, but then afro should be avoided? Explain this to me, chat. I don't understand. This seems incongruous with the prior information. Remove afro. Brecca riot. Okay, good idea. All characters are equal in the game world with no difference in strength or other factors between races. Ooh. Like the people calling Lord of the Rings racist and how they had to remove negative racial traits for orcs in fucking Dungeons and Dragons because that was insensitive. It is important that all characters are equally strong in the setting regardless of race or background. Bad idea. Certain species are represented as evil, weak, etc., giving stereotypical roles to character. Avoid the stereotypical look of and taste bias of black characters equal hip-hop dance. What? What? So they're talking about don't give racial stereotypes to evil characters, but then say avoid the bias of black character equals hip-hop dance, expression of one race as evil or better than another, and I'm biased towards national stereotypes, e.g. Italians eat pizza, Russians drink vodka. I don't think a single fucking Italian person has ever been offended by a caricature of an Italian man eating pizza, and I know for a fact that no fucking Russian person ever got offended at vodka. However, I do have a real story about this. When I worked fast food, when I was like 18, there was a guy, and this was before I became an educated and well-developed person. I did not know where Belarus was, and I thought it was a place in Russia. And my coworker was Belarusian. Actually, two of them were. And I kept making jokes about him drinking vodka to the one point where he like snapped in my face because I was annoying him with vodka jokes and calling him Russian. And apparently he really did not appreciate this. And I'm sure he had to he'd have to deal with a lot of people making Russian and vodka jokes at him, even though he is Belarusian, which is not the same. Though I don't know, Belarusians are reason. He left Belarus. Maybe he's not friendly with Russia. Anyways, so that one guy, but that's not a Russian. Russians drink vodka. Belarusians apparently do not. Ukrainians also drink vodka, just so you know. I gave a maintenance guy who worked on my apartment in Ukraine a bottle of vodka. He was very appreciative of that. He thought it was a very, very nice. I mean, it was like cheap, but I'm sure, it's a gesture. It's a kind gesture. I'm kind and considerate, chat. That's the lesson to take home. Okay, good idea. View culture and international color in a positive light. If you are exposed to different cultures and races, it is common to do the necessary research and show a credible and positive side that is in line with modern knowledge. Push for a more authentic, traditional, and diverse representation of the country in the game rather than stereotypical representations. So have black people in Poland in the medieval era, I guess. Jokes and scant bias expressions about culture. Oh, this is a bad idea. Not using words like Indian, chief, braves. So this is like a Japanese guy in a business suit looking at this thinking like, the Mexicans are not very happy about the Chiefs and Braves and Redskins. We cannot put this in our game. So, and that's literally all he knows. It's just that there's a controversy in America over the names of NFL teams. So he explicitly lists that. Oh, he even has this. The names of professional sports teams are perceived as culturally insensitive and have been changed or forcibly adjusted. Like the Washington Redskins officially changed their names. The Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Indians, and the Kansas City Chiefs are also, so it doesn't say anything, I guess, also changing their name. A selection of the most famous landmarks noticed in tourist attractions and describing the stage of a country, such as the Statue of Liberty when it comes to the stage, which is limited to limited knowledge. What the fuck does that mean? This is literally like Japanese, like, bullshit English. It's all the same shit, just in Japanese. Okay, why? I'm sorry. Okay, look. I know I'm like a huge internet racist and shit, but look at this. On the left is like skinny, wimpy, femboy black kid as Spider-Man. And then on the right, there's like a really awesome, like Jamaican Rasta man who looks awesome. He looks so much more interesting than Black Spider-Man. How the fuck? I would prefer to play the game on the right. Okay. Do I have any black people who watch this? Is there like a single black person in my stream who can give me a black opinion about which is a better or more interesting looking character from like a superficial perspective? Is the Rasta man on the right really offensive? Stoat, my token, I need your help. Stoat, tell me if this is offensive. I'm waiting for Stoat. That motherfucker better be watching. Okay, here, you can at me on Discord if oh, he's there. Stoat. Let me send him the picture. I don't think he's watching. I'm gonna do it. I'm asking. I've sent him the image. Do you like the Spider-Man or the Rastaman more? He has received the information. He's processing the request. Superheroes are gay, he says. What about Rastaman? Is he gay? I'm waiting. He says they're both gay. I see. Okay, well, there's your problem. You're trying to appeal to the blacks with your fucking Spider-Man, and the blacks are like, "This is stupid. This is like stupid white people shit. We don't want to be Spider-Man. We want to like do black people stuff. We don't want to be Rastaman either. You might as well just put whatever the fuck you want for black people in your fucking video game because we think your cape shit is fucking dumb anyways." That's a very informed black opinion. I'm so happy. I'm happy I got to enlighten my chat with this Afrocentric perspective. Okay. Oh, this is the best one. Expressions or political taboos that imply a particular religion or may underline religious beliefs. Religion. There has been a great negativity from media users for the treatment of religious icons with an uncomfortable mix of sexiness. They're talking about like the Hindu shit that happened recently. Even words we use casually, such as Merry Christmas and Easter, change the expression to a neutral one because of their Christian origin. You can't say Merry Christmas in Japanese games because it will offend someone. Representation of the bad men and the bad war from 10 onwards in relation to the Asian region. In Germany, actions and designs reminiscent of Nazism are banned. The raising of the straight hand is forbidden as a salute. And the use of the left crotch, I like that one. That's the best part. The Hakenkreuz left crotch. And certain abbreviations like NS, SS, HH are also regulated. It's hard for me to believe that there is like a Japanese person who doesn't know this. But then again, the Japanese people, the emotes, the Japanese people got off easy because Americans handled that. Food and religious taboos, expressions suggesting a particular religion should be avoided. If you must use them in story, check with the distributor. Yeah, can we have this plot line in our game, Mr. Distributor, because it might offend someone. It should be noted that activities that may not seem to be a problem in Japan may be regulated in other countries. Oof, throw in shade. Okay, we got more good idea, bad idea. Good idea. Consider characters and content that appeal to a wide range of people. Characters and costumes that are more appealing to a wide range of groups attract only a few users. Bad idea. Costumes that only appeal to a certain user base. Good idea. Provide the same armor and customization for all genders. Bad idea. Provide equipment with different exposures for men and women. We've already been over this. You're being redundant, Japanese people. Good idea. Sexy characters are produced in similar numbers for both men and women. Be aware of when and why they are exposed and their purpose. To show extra skin, wear revealing clothing. Be aware of the reason, like the story, etc., and purpose. Bad idea. Expose without reason or storyline biased and sexy expressions without reason for either male or female characters. Outfits that show your buttocks and the sexiness of a woman's unique action critical attacks are negative. Poses or techniques that show too much of the body or characters that are unnecessarily sexy or revealing are not acceptable. It reminds me of how, like, after the war, the Americans were all, like, weirded out by how much sex stuff there was in, like, Japanese culture, so they told the new government ban porn, and they did, and that's why porn is banned in Japan, because Americans came over and like, this is weird, and we don't like it, so you guys got to get rid of it. And they're like, okay, we're going to ban porn, but we're going to start making lolicon and tentacle porn instead. And the US was just like, whatever. Whatever, weirdos. Let's see. Diverse expressions that are not bound by stereotype. That's expressions that lead to discrimination and prejudice, bias against race. Only certain ethnicities and appearances are represented. Expression that incites sexual minorities. What? I guess you can't say the F slur. That's a bad one. Avoid unnecessary sexualization. If you have no choice but to use language that evokes a particular religion or political ideology, maximum consideration confirmation of distributor. Arab localization x pigs. Arrow seller confirmation. Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays. And the number that means war, an expression that remind us of the Nazi Party. Vendor confirmation. Straight up, it is recognized as a Nazi salute. Illegal in Germany. No war-inspired numbers or designs. Oh, okay, there's no words. Oh my god, there's so many LGBTQs in this. For some reason, the only words that are in English or Latin characters are NPC and LGBTQ. And glad, which is also a gay thing. So LGBTQ, NPC. LGBTQ, NPC, glad. Good. The Last of Us 2 and Tomb Raider. Bad. The Breath of the Wild. Oof. Capcom. Your slides are all fucky wucky. This is a little bit of a shit show, my friends. A good idea. Women can also be main character. Bad idea. Male is always main character. Good idea. LGBTQs are treated equally with other characters. Bad idea. Making jokes or inappropriate comments about a character's gender or sexuality. Good idea. LGBTQ characters exist, but be aware that they are viewed negatively in countries with strong Catholic beliefs. Examples of female protagonists and sexual minorities. Bad idea. It makes women LGBT characters weak or unimportant in a way that can be compared to others. Good idea. Collaborate with organizations such as the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation and others to make sure that we are expressing ourselves correctly. Oh, this is that previous slide. And then the rest was like all jumbled together. I don't know what the fuck that is. Planning automatic finish up functionality, which can even decide the choices automatically. Example from other games, Catherine Full Body. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a way to bypass certain areas of the game that you get stuck on. For current gen players fucking zoomers, who tend to get stuck or tired solving clues. Game modes which users can enjoy pipe as like watching drama or movie. Yeah, you can turn your game into a movie if you're a fucking zoomer. While we believe this function will fit well to the young generation, how do you think this feature fits for the young players in the US? Well, I guess they're talking about the Japanese kids. They're also stupid idiots. Bullshit. Bullshit. Oh, that's the release schedule. I don't care about that. Oh, that's the Nazi one again. Okay. Well, that's the Capcom DMCA. That's funnier than I thought it would be. I think actually my favorite one is probably the only where you can only read NPC and LGBTQ. That's pretty comical. That's pretty great. Imagine being insulted by a single-player game having an easy mode for people who want it. Okay, Jim Sterling, motherfucker. You talking about that's like a direct quote from him in that video he did about the little yellow beacon for Mario Kart. I remember this. Whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm mostly playing that up for a joke. I can see reasons, especially if you're talking about like young kids. But then again, I don't know. Catherine wasn't really appropriate for young kids, was it? That's where it mostly comes in handy. Because when I was a kid, I played Super Mario Bros. The original for the NES, and I never beat it. I think I maybe got to 6 a couple times, but I never actually beat the game. Or maybe having the thing, I don't deserve to beat the game. I sucked. That's the yeah, the hard mode. I need I played bowling with bumpers up. I guess that's also, but I did suck at bowling. Maybe they should have made me gutter ball every time. Maybe I would be a better person if I had a gutter ball every time I played bowling. Shitter. Trash platformer player. Did you suck? Yes, I sucked. Just playing story mode. Okay, whatever. I didn't realize how long I would be able to go on what I had. So I had a little bonus set up, and I might as well, because it is Thanksgiving, and I do appreciate my fans. So I'll do something that I have not done in a very long time. Someone sent me this video right before the stream of Kay making scrambled eggs, and since I had the foresight to plan this ahead of time, I do have the bingo card. So we're gonna do it. Where is my Kiwi at? Right there. Hi people, free space. We're gonna enjoy a single video of Kay, and we're gonna head off. All right, let's do this.
Hi people, and I'm back cooking again, and today I'm going to be making a vegan scrambled eggs. Now, I've got the powder in first.
It's vegan scrambled eggs, which is a oxymoron. You cannot have egg and be vegan. So 12 seconds in, I had not watched this beforehand. It just looked gross, so that's why I picked it up. Looks like it's a powder. So I guess to make scrambled eggs vegan, you have to use a plant-based powder and heat it up, and like instant mashed potatoes, I guess. Let's see how that goes.
And then it said add some. Well, it said add 8 ounces of water, but I don't want to add too much and find out it doesn't go right. Now, this is the first time I've ever made anything like this. I never.
Oh, it's
I'm
soy.
Not a vegan, so I'm just.
She's not a vegan. Why is she making it? I wonder. I guess a lot of people are trying it because I know Chris. He's obsessed with eating plant-based burgers and shit. He likes all of that. I've had the soy. I guess it's not soy. I don't know what it is. I had the Burger King just has like to try it. The plant-based chicken tendies at like Burger King. Those are, and I swear to you, those are indistinguishable from actual chicken nuggies. The only thing that might be different about them is I think the real chicken nuggies are more like oily. So if you, which seems to be the thing with all the plant-based stuff, is that it's less oily. But I mean, that's the animal fat. That's what makes it good. But for the chicken nuggets, it's completely indistinguishable. Look, I knew I had to eat some soy. I want to program SS13, and I don't have any striped socks. I'm thinking, how am I ever going to get the metaphysical femboy energy required to make developmental changes to this game unless I go and debase myself with the plant-based chicken nuggies, and they're actually pretty okay.
A bit darker than what our eggs are, but I don't think that matters. I think
the nuggies, not tendies.
A little touch more. I think 8 ounces might have just been.
Are we gonna? Should I mark it? I guess I'll mark it.
I think I'll do exactly what it said on the tin. Add the full 8 ounces. Oops.
Oh,
I've got a
jeez.
feeling that that's gonna. It looks like an egg, and it feels like an egg. I mean, it does look yellow, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my pan on number 4. While I keep beating this egg.
That's one of my tiles.
Right by beating it continually. I mean, I can't see how it can settle if there's nothing to settle, but
she sounds so nervous.
My pan to heat up to, well, and then I'm going to put it in, because as you can see, it looks like an egg, doesn't it? Oh, a bit like an egg.
Did she use her stove?
Oops.
Oh no.
I thought it weren't mixed properly. The powder I used was some, well, it's called, it's just literally called egg. It's egg powder that you can get from most supermarkets. If you want I do know.
Oh, and she spilled something too.
Friend of mine The acquaintance of mine got it from Holland and Barrett. And you'll just have to follow the instructions. I'm turning my ring up. You'll just have to follow the instructions of how to make it, which is the powder that you've already got mixed with water. As I showed you, like I said, you can get most of the ingredients, most of the powder from supermarkets. Now this pan was a bit cold, so I'm going to give it time to warm up.
I think
right, I don't know if it's gone right or if it's supposed to look like this.
There's no seasoning
either. I'm going to
either.
taste it. A bit cooler now, I've took some out. Oh my god. Oh my god.
He likes it. He likes it.
It doesn't taste like an egg, it tastes like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's really nice. It's the nicest egg I've ever tasted. So yeah, thumbs up. Well,
wait.
Like I said, I can't explain what it tastes like. It tastes a bit like...
Where the fuck is Lee? Oh no! Lee's dead! Where is Lee?
Chicken, you know chicken you get from, chicken fried rice you get from a chip shop? It tastes a bit like that, right? It tastes a bit ricey, that's it, but with more and more flavouring. So, if you like what you see, please keep viewing me. If you want to give me a thumbs up, like that, because I know mine will like that, then please do. If you want to leave me a comment, please feel free, the more the merrier. And if you haven't subscribed or you know someone who hasn't subscribed, get them subscribing. And there will be a link in the description to my t-shirts that I am selling. No one is selling them for me, just me. Thank you. Bye.
We got gypped out of this because we usually have a couple of free spaces from Lee. But Lee is dead. He's gone the way of Zigga, and he's just fucking gone. Maybe, I guess he just refused to try the fake egg. He's not a soy boy. He's an onion Chad, like Darkside Phil. The man is repulsed by soy. He says, "Mum, get that shit out of my face." I refuse. You're not gonna turn me into your daughter, Mom. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah, press F for Lee. Well, I don't know. He's not dead. He's currently fighting off his mom's attempt to feminize him via soy. Okay, I'm done. I have a special song lined up. All this talk about soy really necessitates a specific end song. But I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving, and I guess that's it. Did I miss anything? It's been a kind of a slow week, except for Ralph bumbling around fucking DC. Take a few calls? No, I don't feel like it. Remember, if you know a lawyer in Virginia or if you know a CPA, get in touch with me. Thank you. And where is it? Where? I have my. Aha, okay. See you next week. Bye-bye.
One and two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Who want to live in reality on the fringes of negative free? The jig is up, the market's fail. Yeah, I was born a ginger male. I'm turning out, I'm turning out, I'm turning out, I'm turning out, I'm turning out of control again, 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 again. I'm Don't